So this is the icon that we opened for Creo. Since I have Creo opened here, we'll go directly to it. So this is how Creo looks when you open it. So here is where you create new files, but before that first you need to set a working directory where you are going to work on this current project, or if you are going to create where you are going to share your new files. So I set my I'll go to my desktop, Creo. You can create a new folder if you want. And click OK, and your working directory is set. So this is where all your files and all the files that you are working on this thing will be saved. And let us go to the new file. If you go click on you create new file, it will show you different modules. One is sketcher, another is part. In part you have different modules like sheet metal, and you have harness and a normal solid part. If you go for assembly, there is MC models, and there is ECAD, there is harness, and there are different models and modules depending on that. And if you go for manufacturing, there are different modules in that, which is for CMM, sheet metal, harness, and many more. And there are also some more professional and specific required modules like flow module analysis and all that are very high level. First let's start with the basic sketcher. You select sketcher and you enter a name. Click OK, and this your sketcher is open. Okay, so here this is how a sketcher looks like. And first, before working, you have to check some things. Yeah, first is whether this background is okay for you or not. If you are not okay with this background, you can go and check. Go for system appearance. Here you can check it, default, dark theme, light theme, and all. Okay, I would go for a dark theme because it is easier for me. It is up to you. It is totally our wish. Okay, so this I'll click OK. Here we get a display. These are all the options available in the sketcher. These are the center lines. These are what we use for creating the draws. These are the constraints available. Let's go. This is a basic line. You already know how to draw a line. This is before working, if you want to change the background, you can change. And this is how a sketcher environment looks like. These are all the options that we use to create the sketch or the design that we want. These are the options available in the sketcher. These are the constraints that we use going on for the sketcher as required. So this is line. We'll start with the basic thing, line. There are two different things. One is a line chain, another is a line tangent. First, it's a line, basic line. It's just you can select 2 points and you can select create a line. If you want to continue the line going on to make more polygon, something like that, then you can click keep creating more lines. Or you can just 1 and 2 points, a line is created. Whenever you want to stop the line option, you can select the middle button and the line will stop creating the lines. This is the lines. And next, if you want to delete, you can select like this and delete. This is line. Then we have rectangle option, and this line tangent option is, let's say you have 2 circles or 2 arcs, something like that, and you want to create a line tangent to that. This is how we create a line tangent to these two circles. If it's not two circles or there are just two arcs and we want to create a line which is tangent to both things, this is how we select both the arcs and the line will create which is tangent to both the options. Let's say I want something like this. And I don't want this particular option. And I don't want this particular option also. And this is how I got my body. So if there are curves and we want to create lines tangent to that, this is the option that we use for creating lines. And rectangle, we can create rectangle in different ways. First is a corner rectangle. It is just a basic rectangle which we create by selecting two diagonally opposite entities and we get a rectangle. Or we can also create a rectangle if we have a circle. Let's say I selected the circle and I want to create accordingly. So this is where first I mentioned a circle and I will drag one corner depending on, and I will select my rectangle based on my length and width. So because our designs, and sometimes we will be making designs and sometimes we will be making parts which will fit into a already existing surrounding assembly, and we might be having some preferences and accordingly we might have to do some new sketch or accordingly, and that is when we use what are the options required to that. And we have a parallelogram. Parallelogram is something that both the and we have a parallelogram. It is when you can select 2 points and create a parallelogram. This is a parallelogram. Though you know that only difference between the rectangle and a parallelogram is that the angle is not 90 degrees. This is a parallelogram. And we have a slanted rectangle. Let's say if we don't want a straight or a horizontal, we want a slanted. That is when we create a slanted rectangle. You create one side and you extend it to create the another two sides. This is how you create a slanted rectangle. And next is circle. There are different options to click to create a circle. One is center and point. It's a basic. We select the circle center and know how you adjust however you want a circle and select. A circle is created for you. And the other options is concentric circle. Let's say I want to create a circle which is concentric to that. Then I will select this and I will adjust my new circle with whatever radius I want. Then I will select that. If I want one more, I will create, or else I will click mid button and it will stop creating. So this is how my new two circles are created. And 3 points. It is by selecting 3 points, it will automatically create a circle that will have all these 3 points on that. Let's say I will select one point here, another point here, and whatever I select the other point, it will adjust the circle accordingly. So this is how the circle is created. And tangent and 3 tangent circle. Let's say I have 3 lines. if I have 3 lines, I want to create a circle which is tangent to all these things. Then I will create a circle 2 and this is how I create a circle. Here. Now this circle is tangent to all these 3 circles. So this is how we create a circle using all the different options available. And in Creo latest version, we have an option called as quick toolbar, which is when you right click, you get these options. Depending upon the mode, these options will change. Basically, in Sketcher, you have this option, quick option to create a line, to create a rectangle, to create a circle, an arc, and a construction line, a center line. And you have an option to create one more arc, another option to create an arc, and an option to dimension that. And next option will go for the arc. We have multiple options in creating an arc. One is we select an arc and we select the endpoints, and the third point will define the arc. This is how you create an arc. Or you can create by the center and edge. Let's say this is the center, I want to create an arc, and how much radius I want. This is the radius I want, and these are the 2 points where I want to create this arc. This is defined by the center and the radius and the 2 points segment of the circle. And we have 3 tangents arc. As I said before, let's say we have 3 lines. And I want to create an arc using these 3 lines. 1, 2, 3. Now here we have the tangency. It will show all the constraints available, and here we have coincidence, and we have tangency and tangency. So using all these 3 tangents, we created a new arc. And next is concentric arc. Let's say there is already an arc which is existing, and I want to create a new arc which is bigger than that, or anything which is concentric to that. So I'll select this arc, and at what radius do you want? I wanted this radius, and I am creating an arc. So this is how I create an arc. And next is conic arc. Here, let's say if you want to create an arc which is something like conic or some ellipse or something like that, which is not circular, which is how you create an arc. It is by you just select your 2 endpoints and you create an arc. Your third point, wherever you keep it, accordingly it will create a cone. That's it, a parabola or whatever curve, whatever you put it. So this is an arc. So this, it will not calculate the circle, it will just pass through an arc accordingly. That is how you get it. So these are all the different options available in creating an arc. Yeah. Next is ellipse. While creating ellipse, we have an option, 2 different options while creating ellipse. One is an axis ends and another is a center and axis. Axis ends ellipse is like you will select one axis which is a major or minor axis, and then you will drag up and down and adjust accordingly to create an ellipse like this. You can even create first a minor axis and then you can create an ellipse. It doesn't matter whether you are selecting the major axis or the minor axis. and then we have center and axis, which is like I want to this is the center where I want to create my ellipse, and this is this much I want one of the axis, and I'll create an ellipse. This axis might be major or minor in a similar way. I can create a major axis, or I can select a center and a minor axis. So this is how we are the options we have to create an ellipse. And we have an option to create a spline. A spline is something which it is just a random joining of lines. It's not very constant curve and all. We have just a free flow points. You don't need to give all the constant to create this curve. That is a spline. Let's say I created spline and I just random select the points. And this is the spline I created. So a spline is something, it doesn't have that much geometry. You don't define all the geometries for creating a spline. You just select, give random points. It is just similar to the locus of this thing. That's it. So these are options that we have to create all the geometries and anything. Now we have options that will modify all the other geometries that we create. First is fillet. There are different options. A fillet is, let's say this is the sharp edge. A fillet is something, nothing but that gives a circular edge to a sharp edge for two lines. This thing, and I want this radius to be 60. That's it. Now we have, these are sharp edges and we have a circular edge. Similarly, I will give a fillet here. Similar, accordingly this change. However you want to give this radius, you can adjust. Let's say I want 100, I'll give it. Yes. So this is how. However you want to adjust the radius, you can adjust the radius. This is fillet. And then you have elliptical. Here I want, in this, between these two lines, I want to have an elliptical trim. So this is the center, and from this thing I want this to be, yeah, so this thing I want this to be 80. This thing I want this to be, if I give this also 80 from the center, then it will become circular here. And now if I don't want this to be 80, I want this to be 100. It's automatically done. This is an elliptical, but this will have a round finish. Generally we give round finishes to majority of the parts and edges that we have, because we don't want to get any stress concentration at that point, because the material will stuck there, or because of the mold flow, the material might have a weakest point in that edges. That is why we give fillets, so that the molds and the molten metal will flow properly, and it will not have any weak points or something like that at its edges. That is why that's one of the main reason we use these fillets. Then second thing, if you want any aesthetic purpose, or if it is requirement, we will use these fillets. Yeah, let's say we have a cross section. We want to give a fillet here. I select this and I select this. This is how I get a fillet. So now these lines are trimmed and the edges are given a fillet. Or let's say I have another X cross section. Rather, I selected normal fillet. This is how I want. If I want these lines to be trimmed and I want the bottom X lines, then this is what, instead of selecting these two lines, I will select the bottom two lines. This is how I would do that. And let's say if we have an option like this and I want to trim this line and I want to extend this line to create a circular fillet, then I will create circular trim here and here. Now I create an arc and it is trimmed, so that is circular trim. The same thing I can use an elliptical trim or an elliptical fillet. Next is chamfer. There are different options in giving a chamfer. The chamfer is, if you have attended this workshop, in engineering you have the foundry workshop and the machining workshop. If you attended that, carpentry and welding, that you will be knowing about a fillet, where they will drop this fillet to have this edging. If you remember in welding, they will have an edge here and they will edge here and they will pour this thing. So similarly we can have this fillet to create a cross section and everything to avoid this edge, or it might be depending upon the work that we have, the requirement that we have in the design. So let's say I want to create a chamfer. I will select the two edges that I want and I have a chamfer. That's it. Let's say here in this side I want the chamfer to be 200. This to be 180. It can be adjusted accordingly. It is up to us. And chamfer trim. Want to trim these two lines accordingly, and this is it. The difference between here and here is that here there are two lines and I am just cutting these two lines. Here the difference is that I am creating the center from where I am creating the chamfer. So that is the main difference between this chamfer and this chamfer. Next is text. If I want to just write some lines and I want to emboss here, I want to create just my trading name. I can adjust the fonts, font 3D, font anything and all. I want, let's say, font 3D, horizontal center, bottom middle, aspect ratio, like length to width, slant angle 0, how much spacing you want between two lines. This is how you want to place this along these lines. This is it. And I want this much and I don't want this much height, then I can reduce. That's it. I created text. Now I can scale it just by dragging it. How I can adjust it how much I want. Next is offset. Let's say I already have this rectangle and I want this is, let's say I have this already rectangle which is created using the references in the background, and I want to create a line which is offset to this. I will select offset, single. Do you want to create the whole chain or just one line? I will just want one line. I'll select single, close. Now this is the edge I want to offset. In which direction? This side or bottom? See, enter offset in the direction of this arrow. Let's say I want an offset outside a rectangle which is opposite to that. Then I will give my direction minus. I want an offset of 50 mm. 50. That's it. I got a new edge which is offset to that. Let's say I want the whole chain, the whole rectangle offset. Then I'll select this thing. Here I selected the whole rectangle. And then I want minus 100. Here it created the whole chain. That means all the lines which are connected to that, it selected and it created. This is useful when you have an edge which is already imported and you want some similar curve with a different radius. This is where you use this offset. Next is thicken. Let's say we already have a design, we made some design and we want to strengthen that design, we want to strengthen the wall. This is when we use the thicken. You can read the description there. Create entities by offsetting an edge or a sketched entity on two sides. Let's say I select this. I want the whole chain or a loop and I select this and enter thickness. How much do you want? I want a thickness of 40 mm. Enter. What is the offset in the direction of the arrow? 30 mm. Here you have. I already made a design and I am just adding one line on the other side. So this is the, let's say this is the center profile or the neutral fiber I created and I want to make a design using this thing. So this is how I will do it. That's it. So if I want to delete this, I will delete this. Now I have a design. Now let's say I will extrude this and I will get a part which is in the similar shape, but I had the thickness plus or minus. So this is how we use for the thickness. Next is palette. Palette is we have predefined shapes that we can import into our new design. It is loading. If it is first time, it will load that. Generally palette, you can observe, you can have the similar thing in MS Word. If you open Word or PowerPoint, if you go for insert, you will see shapes. So this is just similar to that, where it will have some standard already predefined objects or designs or shapes that you can import into your new design. Here, shapes, arc, cross, oval, rounded rectangle, wave, different types of waves, polygons, 3-sided rectangle, triangle, 4-sided square, 5-sided pentagon, hexagon, heptagon, octagon, decagon, and we have other polygons accordingly. We have stars, 3-sided, 3-tip, 4-tip, 5-tip, 7, 8 accordingly. And we have other shapes. We have profile, C profile. Let's say you are creating a rail or something like that. We have this section, C sections, I sections, L sections, T sections, and all these things. So this, let's say I want a I section. So this is a sketcher. So this is what how I want the profile. Now I just dragged it here and it created. Next is palette. Palette is something where we have an already predefined shapes and object that we want to import into our design. It is similarly if you open your MS Word or PowerPoint, you have already predefined shapes that you can import into your design. So this is what we have in here. They have different designs. And let's say I want to import my eye profile into my design. So these are the profiles, these are everything. Let's say I want to import this eye section. I'll select this and I'll drag it. If you don't know how to do that, you can just, if you go there, Creo will always give you a helping. Click left mouse button to preview here. This is the preview. Double click left mouse button or drag and drop to select. Here I have this. Now I dragged it here. That's it. So this is how I have my sections. This is how I have my L section, I section. That is what, because I just dragged that. So this is it. So this is the I section that I have by default. Now I want to increase the width and I want to increase the height. Now I can modify accordingly, but the section won't change because we already have a predefined concepts and predefined constraint for this lines. So that is why this will not move. Here I want to increase this and I increased it. That's it. So that is how I can modify my sections and anything easily. There are so many sections. Let's say there are different shapes also. Now we saw that till now we saw that we can create a rectangle and add fillets and all. You don't need to do that. If you go here, shapes, rounded rectangle, drag it here. Here we selected it. If you want this angle or you want to rotate that, you can rotate anyhow. If you want to increase the scale, you can increase the scale, and you have it. If you don't want this much radius, 100. If you want this much, if you don't want this much length, you can reduce it. I'm bringing the dimensions in here so that I can fit more things into my window. This is it. So this is how I created, and I want to move it, I'll move it. Want to update my radius, I'll increase it. Similarly, if I want to change my radius, I don't want this much radius, I'll change that. So this is how I get my predefined rounded rectangle. So I have avoided many operations. I have avoided drawing a rectangle, giving the fillet to every edges. So I have simply got this. So depending upon my requirement, I will take that. This is it. If let's say I want a star, which I want to give as a symbol on my product or on my part that I am designing, I'll select a 7-tip star. Select it. Here, this is the dimension I want. I want a star only this much, and I select it. Middle button. Now the star is created. If you want to increase the star, I'll increase the radius. 50. Increased. Other dimensions I can increase. Similarly, this outer diameter I want it to be 80. Like this star is drawn in the circumcircled by 2 circles. So if you by updating the circles radiuses of these 2 circles, you can adjust the dimensions of the star. You can move it, you can update the circles. It's all up to us. So this is how, according to the circle dimensions, that the dimension of the line and the angle of the star will be updated accordingly. This is a star, and we have so many shapes. You have polygons. Let's say I want to draw a hexagon. I selected it. If you can always receive here, click and release the mouse button and select window to place the default size, and select drag and window. I placed my thing here. Let's say I want to draw a hexagon. I'll double click, and here you can read it. Click and release left mouse button on sketch window and place the default size, drag and everything. I am selecting. This is where I want my this thing. Here I can adjust the position. If I have any reference, let's say I want this thing, so I can move that. Or if I want to update the dimensions, I want to update the angle, I want to update this thing, I can update accordingly. Here, and by clicking the middle button, I got it. Now I want to increase that. I can increase it accordingly. I want to update this dimension. This will be increased. This is how I will create a hexagon. So accordingly, you can create different profiles, different shapes as per your requirement. This is the palette, and we have a center line. Center line we use for to mention an axis. See, if you take the cross section of an axis, let's say you have a hole in a part and you take the cross section, this is how it will look. By default it will show you some constraints, like it will help you with this thing. If I want a center line, I am selecting this, and here, sorry, I am drawing a center line here. So this is the center of my hole. This will be useful in the modeling, or to show that this is a center line or something like that. You can also create a center line which is tangent to the two curves that you already have. Point, you can just create a point wherever you want for reference. Let's say this is the 4 points. After seeing my designs, this is the 4 points I took from something, and I want to create a polygon on these 4 lines. It will be easy. Points will be used while benchmarking or something like that, or to mark some specific coordinates or locations where we want to incorporate into our design. So that is for major use for the points. Coordinate system. Let's say I am creating a design and this is the center of my design. So this is my coordinate system, and I will want to dimension. Let's say I have a design. So this is the center I want to take, and I want to dimension all my things from here. See, automatically it showed the dimension. See, we can dimension from here. So coordinate system is shown as a reference or a reference point or an origin point for any sketcher. So in this whole sketcher, so whatever I create, I can use this coordinate system as a reference and create all the design that I do over here. That is the use of the coordinate system. Next is the editing. Editing is the tab that we use for adjusting all the sketch that we already did. If you want to do some modifications or something like that, that is what we do. So let's say I have a rectangle. I want to modify. I'll select that. I'll select this thing. I will modify this accordingly. So modify option is used when you already give a dimension or a constraint to that and you want to modify that. That is when you create modify, or to text values or something like that. Now let's go for the different options in editing. Let's say I have a line here, or let's make it curve or an angle. Now let's say I have an arc here. I want this part. I don't want this part. So what I'll do, I'll go for delete segment. I'll go for this. So this delete segment is nothing but an option that will delete all the unnecessary parts. If we shall delete that center, there's a hole, this will go because this curve is given from there. So this is how I trimmed it. Let's say I have one more line. Now I don't know here, from here to here is a single line. I want to divide that. I want a point here. What I'll do, I'll select divide. I'll select this point and this point. Now I want to divide this segment. I divided it. Now this line is divided. This line is divided. This line is a divided. Now let's say I want to divide only this part. Now divided. This is a different segment. This whole is a different segment. This is a different segment and this is a different segment. So when you already have a curve and you want to divide a specific part of it. Now let's say I want to this is a sketch and I want to have something here, only a small part. I will give it a divide. I deleted it. Now let's say I want to add an extension here. Yes, so let's say there are two chambers and this is one chamber. I want to give an entry. This is how I created one chamber, and I will create and I'll create a circle. See, now my circle is on these lines and I want to, let's say I want to extend this thing. Now I'll this thing select, now this is my curve. Let's say I want to add an extension here. What I will do, I will go for divide. I will select these 2 points. That's it. Now this becomes a different segment. I'll delete that. Now the whole curve and shape is not disturbed. So here I will add a passageway. Let's say this is a tank and this is a passageway I gave, so it makes useful. So divide is when you have a whole curve and you don't want to disturb the whole part and you want to have just a small part to edit it. That is where you go for divide. And corner, let's say here, let's say there is a line, and I want these two to join and delete one segment and create a corner. Now I'll select this. Let's say I want to select this thing. Wait, this is a whole line and I have this whole line. I want this corner. I will select corner, this line and this line, and here see it will trim the unnecessary part and created me a corner and an edge. The line is this line is still here. It has trimmed this part. This line was still here. It trimmed this part. So that is when we create a corner. Let's say we don't know the exact dimensions and we got a closed shape and we want to trim the exact external part. This is what we use for corners. Now let's say we have this line. I have a line here. These two are not even joined, but I want a corner. Then I select this, set this and this. I got a corner. Now the line is extended to this and it has trimmed the external part and I got this corner. So similarly, corner is that it can remove or extend a line to create a corner by removing or creating necessary parts wherever required. That is a corner. Next is constraints. Constraints are useful in defining a curve, that are useful in guiding and defining a curve. Let's say I have this line and I have drawn it wrongly. and I want this to be horizontal. I'll select this horizontal button and I'll select this curve. Now the curve is horizontal. Let's say if I want this line to be vertical, I'll select vertical, I'll select this line. It will not work because it has this horizontal constraint. I deleted it. Now I select vertical, I'll select this line. Sorry. Now I have this line, I'll select vertical, I'll select this line. Now this line is vertical. Now let's say I have one more line which is horizontal. By default it got this horizontal constraint. Now let's say I have one line which I didn't draw horizontal. I thought it is horizontal but it's not horizontal. Then let's say if I select one edge and move it, it will move here and there. It can change the angle also. Let's say if I select horizontal and select this line to be horizontal, select this edge, it will stay horizontal. It will not change the angle. Now if I want to wherever I want to adjust the length, I can adjust the length instead of moving. So here I am fixing the angle of the line. So similarly, wherever required, we can use that constraint. Let's say we have two lines. I thought these are perpendicular, but they are actually not. So I will use this perpendicular. I'll select this line, this line. Now these two lines are perpendicular. These two lines are perpendicular. So wherever I move, whatever the angle I want to move this, these lines will be perpendicular. Let's say I will fix this angle 60 degrees. Now this is there is something called as strong dimensions and weak dimensions. Weak dimensions are by default derived from the sketch. But like if we create a normal design, we don't dimension it, this dimension will normally come, which is a weak design. Strong designer use their defined dimensions. Let's say after we created, if I go do undo, Control Z, this is a angle that is already there, already driven from the system. Now I defined it 60 degrees. So now it turned white. So this is a strong dimension, that is a user defined dimension, that will not change. Okay, now this thing, now I want this. If I fix this angle, I defined it but I didn't constrain it. If I define it, then let's say I give dimension, let's say I defined it, and if I move it, it will not move because it is already constrained. Now this angle is fixed, only thing is we can move this thing, that's it. So that is why we cannot, that is why we give constraint, so that it will be fixed. Okay, next is equal. Equal is, let's say I have two curves, or I have drawn some line over here. I thought this line is parallel and equal to this line, but is actually not. But to make sure this is parallel, I'll select this line and this line. Since we have defined this angle, this line has become parallel to this. Now we want this to be equal. Select two or more lines, two or more circle, a spline and a line, or two or more angles for which to be equal. See, I want this dimension for this line, so this dimension is taken for this line. That is it. If it is opposite, I'll select equal, I'll select this line and this line. See, now both are equal. So similarly, whatever we want, it will happen. So everything is depending upon the selection we do. And there is, in Creo there is something called as right selection and left selection. If you select from right to left, only components which are inside the curve will be selected. If we select from left to right, even the things which are partially inside the circle also will be selected. If you do that from right to left, this will not get selected. If I do that from left to right, it will select. See, I'll select till here. This line is inside the circle, so it got selected. This was not inside the whole selection, so it was not selected. I'll do the same thing here. This line was completely inside, so it got selected, but since it was also partially inside it got selected. So that is the main difference between left selection and right selection. That is very useful if you work in the assembly things. So this is all about sketcher. These are the dimensions that you have. So this is all about sketcher. And one more point is how to, let's say, so in this level, so in this level my sketcher looks closed, but how do I know if it is really closed or not? That is when I go for this. This is highlight open ends. If it is an open end, it will highlight here and I can take this here. If I want the end to be here, if I want this end to be here, I'll select this coincident. I'll select this edge thing. Now the point come over here, and this is a point. This is the option that will show all the closed loops. This is here. Now it's okay. But if, let's say, if we thought we have closed a loop by trimming or editing different geometries, but how do we know whether the geometry is really closed or not? That is where we select this option, so it will show all the closed loops available. This is overlapping geometries. Let's say I have two different geometries which are overlapping. Have double lines. See, now this is highlighted, but it is not showing because these are two lines at this point and it is actually not a closed loop. Now if I select this overlapping geometry, see, it is already overlapping, so it is showing. Now I delete it. Now it becomes a closed loop because that line was an open loop and it is closed. So this is how it works. Now there is one more option. It is like there are more inspection points. Let's say we have this intersection point. I want to see where these two lines will intersect. I'll go for intersection point. Here, select two entities. I will select control and I'll select these two entities. See, this is the location. These are the coordinates where these two lines will intersect. Okay, this is it. It will show from the coordinate system, from the origin that we have. This is the point, and I want to see the tangency point. See, this is the distance between these two things. This is the angle of tangency. This is it. So this is how these two things work.